Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
The Cleveland training facility is absolutely electric right now, and what went down during today's practice session has sent shockwaves through the entire organization. After a disappointing loss last week that left fans questioning everything, Shedeur Sanders stepped onto that field with something to prove, and boy, did he deliver a performance that nobody saw coming. This wasn't just another routine practice. This was a statement, a declaration, a masterclass in quarterback play that has coaches, teammates, and analysts completely rethinking everything they thought they knew about this young gunslinger. From the moment Shedeur Sanders walked onto that Cleveland training ground, you could feel the energy shift. The air was thick with anticipation, and all eyes were locked on the quarterback position like never before. After last week's brutal loss, questions were swirling. Could Shedeur bounce back? Was he really ready for the QB1 spotlight? Did he have what it takes to lead this team through adversity? Well, let me tell you something. Those questions got answered real quick, and the answers were absolutely jaw-dropping. Shedeur didn't just show up to practice. He arrived with a chip on his shoulder the size of Texas and a fire in his eyes that could melt steel. His body language from the very first snap screamed confidence, not the cocky kind that gets you in trouble, but the earned confidence of a quarterback who knows exactly what he's capable of and isn't afraid to show it. While other quarterbacks might have wilted under the pressure of last week's loss and the intense scrutiny that comes with competing for the starting job, Shedeur Sanders did the exact opposite. He embraced it, owned it, and turned it into fuel for one of the most impressive practice performances we've seen all season. The practice started innocently enough with the standard group warm-ups. Players getting loose, stretching out those muscles, preparing their bodies for the grind ahead. But everyone knew the real show was about to begin once individual drills kicked off. And that's exactly when Shedeur Sanders flipped the switch and went into another gear entirely. The moment he stepped into those one-on-one receiver drills, it became crystal clear that this wasn't going to be just another ordinary practice session. This was going to be something special, something memorable, something that would have people talking for days. Every single throw that left Shedeur's hand during those drills was placed with surgical precision. We're talking about the kind of accuracy that makes defensive coordinators lose sleep at night. Short routes, intermediate crosses, deep bombs down the sideline, it didn't matter. Each pass hit its target with such consistency that it almost looked effortless. But here's the thing. Anyone who knows football understands that this level of precision is anything but effortless. It takes years of practice, countless hours of film study, and an innate understanding of the game that you simply cannot teach. What really stood out during these individual drills wasn't just the power behind Shedeur's throws, although, trust me, the kid has an absolute cannon for an arm. No, what separated him from the pack was his timing, his finesse, his complete understanding of every single play. He wasn't just throwing the ball to where his receivers were. He was throwing to where they were going to be, leading them perfectly into space and giving them the best possible chance to make plays after the catch. His mechanics were absolutely flawless. No wasted motion, no hesitation, no overthinking.
Know that we have to play our best.
Smooth,
that's
textbook
obviously
quarterback
our focus.
play
Although we've had a
that would make
good
any
work
coaching
week
staff
so
salivate.
far. Guys
But
are
if you
focused,
thought those
really
individual
pleased with
drills
the
were
work.
impressive,
And then
you
got
haven't
some
heard
finishing
anything
touches,
yet.
obviously.
Because when Shedeur Sanders got his turn with the first-team offense, that's when things went from impressive to absolutely spectacular. This is where the rubber meets the road, where quarterbacks truly separate themselves from the competition. And let me tell you, any lingering doubts about whether Shedeur Sanders belonged in that QB1 conversation were completely obliterated during these reps. Every single pass Shedeur threw with the first team had purpose behind it. He wasn't just slinging the ball around hoping his receivers would bail him out. He was reading the defense like a seasoned veteran, making split-second decisions that most quarterbacks take years to develop, and delivering strikes with pinpoint accuracy that left defenders completely helpless. The way he commanded the offense, the way he communicated at the line of scrimmage, the way he adjusted protections and read coverages, it was all there. The complete package. And then it happened. The moment that had everyone on that practice field stopping dead in their tracks. The throw that will be replayed in highlight reels and coaching tape for weeks to come. The pocket began collapsing around Shedeur, defenders closing in from multiple angles. Any normal quarterback would have either forced a throw or taken the sack. But Shedeur Sanders isn't a normal quarterback. With pressure bearing down on him, he calmly sidestepped the rush with a quick, efficient move that made it look like he had all day. He reset his feet in one fluid motion, looked downfield, identified his target streaking down the sideline, and absolutely unleashed a deep strike that was nothing short of perfection. The ball traveled through the air like it was shot out of a rocket launcher, spiraling beautifully with perfect rotation, and the placement, absolutely impeccable. The receiver didn't have to slow down, didn't have to adjust his route, didn't have to make any kind of difficult catch. The ball dropped right into his hands in perfect stride, hitting him exactly where it needed to be for maximum yards after catch. The timing was immaculate, the touch was sublime, and the accuracy was otherworldly. This wasn't just a good throw. This was a textbook definition of what a quarterback highlight reel should look like. This was the kind of throw that gets shown at quarterback camps as an example of perfection. But Shedeur wasn't done, not even close. He was just getting warmed up. And what followed was a masterclass in consistency and precision that had coaches frantically scribbling notes and defensive players shaking their heads in disbelief. Throw after throw after throw, each one smoother than the last, each one placed exactly where it needed to be, each one landing softly and perfectly into his receiver's waiting hands. It was like watching a machine operate at peak efficiency, except this wasn't a machine. This was a human being playing the quarterback position at an elite level. The passes were uncatchable for defenders because they were placed in spots where only his receivers could get to them. Back shoulder throws that took the defensive backs completely out of the play. Touch passes over the middle that floated just over the outstretched hands of linebackers. Laser beams into tight windows that required absolute confidence and precision. Shedeur was delivering them all with the kind of ease and consistency that separates good quarterbacks from great ones. Every single pass seemed like it had a GPS tracker on it, zeroing in on its target with absolute certainty. The defense could only watch helplessly as Shedeur picked them apart methodically and efficiently. Then came another moment of pure brilliance that showcased not just Shedeur's arm talent, but his football IQ and his ability to manipulate defenses with subtle movements. The pocket began to collapse again, pressure coming from multiple angles, and for a brief moment it looked like Shedeur might be in trouble. But this kid has ice water running through his veins. He took a calm step back, making the defense believe they had him trapped, that they were about to get home for a sack. But here's where the genius happened. Shedeur made an almost invisible hand movement, a subtle fake that was so well disguised that most people watching probably didn't even catch it in real time. This tiny motion threw off the defenders just enough, making them hesitate for a split second, buying Shedeur that crucial extra fraction of time he needed. And in football, a fraction of a second is all the difference between a sack and a completion, between a loss of yards and a big gain. Shedeur used that split second to scan downfield, identify his open receiver, and deliver another strike that moved the chains and had his offensive teammates going absolutely crazy. The next throw was even more impressive if you can believe it. Picture this scenario. Defenders everywhere, each one fighting for position, hands raised, trying to bat down the pass, the pocket collapsing from all sides like a vice grip. Most quarterbacks in this situation would panic. They'd either try to force a throw into coverage and risk an interception, or they'd tuck the ball and try to scramble, probably taking a big hit in the process. But Shedeur Sanders isn't most quarterbacks. Instead of panicking or forcing anything, he stayed completely unfazed, his composure absolutely unshakable. While chaos erupted all around him, Shedeur kept his eyes downfield, continuing to scan for an opening. And here's where his vision and field awareness truly shined. He noticed something that most people missed in all the chaos. The defense was so focused on the mayhem happening around Shedeur, so caught up in trying to get to him or disrupt his throwing lanes, that they completely lost track of one of his receivers. With a quick scan of the field that took maybe a second at most, Shedeur spotted his man positioned perfectly on the far left side, ready to break free from coverage and create a massive play. What happened next was pure quarterback excellence. Despite all the pressure, despite all the chaos, despite having multiple defenders in his face, Shedeur delivered a strike to his open receiver that was absolutely on the money. The ball placement was perfect, the timing was impeccable, and just like that, what could have been a disaster turned into another successful play. This is the kind of play that shows up huge in game situations, the kind of play that wins close games, the kind of play that separates franchise quarterbacks from everyone else. But Shedeur Sanders wasn't content to just showcase his arm talent and accuracy. He wanted everyone to see the complete package, and that meant demonstrating his footwork and mobility under pressure. In the next rep, he found himself in another tight spot with the pocket collapsing fast and defenders converging from multiple angles. There was absolutely no room to make a clean, traditional throw from his current position. Most quarterbacks would have either forced a bad throw or eaten the sack, but Shedeur had other plans. This is where his understanding of pocket navigation and spatial awareness really came into play. He knew he couldn't make the throw from where he was, but he also knew that if he could just buy himself a little time and a little space, he could find an opening. So without panicking, without forcing anything, Shedeur calmly assessed the situation in a split second and made his move. He pivoted smoothly to his left, not in a desperate scramble to escape pressure, but in a calculated movement designed to get himself a better vantage point of the field. By shifting laterally, Shedeur accomplished something crucial. He cleared the clutter of bodies around him, creating a clear line of sight beyond all the chaos. This wasn't just running around for the sake of running around. This was intelligent pocket manipulation, using his mobility to create throwing lanes rather than just trying to escape. And once he had that clear view, once he had created that space for himself, he delivered another perfect strike downfield. The whole sequence from recognizing the pressure to pivoting away to delivering the throw took maybe 3 seconds, but it demonstrated the kind of advanced quarterback play that usually takes years to develop. Just when you thought Shedeur Sanders had shown everything in his arsenal, just when you thought he couldn't possibly surprise anyone else, he went ahead and pulled off something that nobody saw coming. He showcased a level of versatility and creativity that left everyone on that practice field absolutely stunned, including the coaches who thought they'd seen it all. In one particular rep that will be talked about for a long time, things took a turn for the completely unexpected, and it demonstrated just how well-rounded Shedeur's game really is. Shedeur received the snap as normal, but instead of dropping back to pass like everyone expected, he executed something straight out of a trick play handbook. Without any hesitation, without any telegraphing of his intentions, he placed the ball directly into the hands of a defensive tackle who was standing right beside him. Yes, you read that correctly. A defensive tackle. Now, defensive tackles don't typically handle the football unless something has gone horribly wrong, but this wasn't a mistake or a broken play. This was all part of the script, a perfectly executed piece of trickery designed to keep defenses honest and show that this offense can come at you from anywhere. The tackle, suddenly finding himself with the football, took off down the field with surprising speed for a big man. He weaved through traffic, using his momentum and power to bulldoze through would-be tacklers, and made a legitimate run toward the end zone. The whole sequence was equal parts hilarious and impressive, showing that Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland offense aren't afraid to get creative, aren't afraid to try unconventional things, and aren't afraid to keep defenses guessing about what might be coming next. This kind of creativity and willingness to execute trick plays adds another dimension to the offense that defensive coordinators have to account for. But the absolute pinnacle of the practice session, the moment that truly cemented Shedeur Sanders as the undisputed QB1, came during the final rep of the day. This was the kind of moment that separates the pretenders from the contenders, the kind of moment that reveals who has what it takes to lead a team when everything is on the line. Shedeur found himself under absolutely intense pressure, the most pressure he'd faced all day. The defense was all over him, closing in from every single direction like a pack of wolves. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and the pocket was collapsing faster than ever. The tension was absolutely palpable. You could feel it hanging in the air. This was a critical, high-stakes moment, the kind of situation that happens multiple times in every single game, the kind of situation that determines whether a quarterback is just good or truly special. And this is precisely where Shedeur Sanders truly shined brightest. Despite the overwhelming pressure, despite defenders flooding in from all sides, despite every instinct probably screaming at him to just throw the ball away or take the sack. Shedeur didn't lose his cool for even a split second. His composure was absolutely remarkable. He calmly scanned the field even with chaos erupting all around him, looking for any possible opening. His receiver was within range. There was a potential window, but it was tight. Extremely tight. There was a very real risk of an interception if the throw wasn't absolutely perfect. The margin for error was razor thin, and any mistake could have resulted in a turnover, the worst possible outcome in this situation. Most quarterbacks would have thrown the ball away, lived to fight another down, and nobody would have blamed them for making the safe play. But Shedeur Sanders didn't make the safe play. He made the right play, with defenders literally in his face, with pressure bearing down from all sides, with the window being no bigger than a basketball hoop. Shedeur delivered a strike that threaded the needle perfectly. The ball placement was absolutely immaculate, placed exactly where only his receiver could get it, and where no defender had any chance of making a play on it. The throw required absolute conviction, complete confidence in his arm and his accuracy, and nerves of steel. And Shedeur delivered all of that and more, capping off his practice session with the kind of throw that gets replayed over and over, the kind of throw that ends up in highlight packages, the kind of throw that makes you realize you're watching someone special. When it was all said and done, when the final whistle blew and practice came to an end, there was absolutely no doubt left in anyone's mind. Shedeur Sanders had delivered an exceptional day at first-team practice, completely solidifying his place as quarterback one and proving beyond any shadow of doubt why he's the leader this team needs moving forward. From the absolute first moment he stepped onto that field, his presence was completely undeniable. His throws were precise to the point of perfection, his decision-making was sharp and decisive, and his ability to read defenses was absolutely flawless. Every single rep showcased not just his considerable skill, but his complete command over every aspect of the game, confirming that he's more than ready to take on any challenge that comes his way. Under pressure situations that would have broken lesser quarterbacks, Shedeur remained calm and collected, effortlessly navigating tight spots and making throws with pinpoint accuracy that seemed almost unfair. His poise and confidence were evident in every single movement, every single throw, every single decision. He proved that he's not just capable of handling the QB1 responsibilities, but that he's fully equipped and eager to embrace them. This wasn't just a good practice. This was a coming out party, a statement of intent, a declaration that Shedeur Sanders is ready for this moment. With the Cleveland team now turning their full attention to their upcoming matchup against the Tennessee Titans, Shedeur Sanders is more than ready to lead the charge into battle. His performance in practice has shown everyone, from coaches to teammates to fans, that he can absolutely handle the heat when the temperature gets turned up. And when it's game time, when the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest, he's going to bring absolutely everything he's got and then some. Shedeur Sanders is locked in, completely focused, and ready to take on the Titans with full force and determination that should have Tennessee's defensive coordinator losing sleep at night. The stage is set for what could be a breakthrough performance. All the pieces are in place. Shedeur has shown he has the arm talent, the accuracy, the decision-making, the composure under pressure, the mobility, the creativity, and most importantly, the mentality of a franchise quarterback. The Cleveland faithful have reason to be excited, reason to believe that they've got something special under center. After last week's disappointing loss, this team needed their quarterback to step up and show he could be the leader they need. Shedeur Sanders did exactly that and so much more. The Tennessee Titans better be watching this practice tape closely, because what they're going to see should concern them greatly. They're going to see a quarterback who's operating at an extremely high level, who's making throws that most quarterbacks can only dream of making, who's staying calm under pressure that would rattle veterans, and who's showing the kind of completeness at the position that wins championships. The Titans' defense is going to have their hands absolutely full trying to slow down Shedeur Sanders and this Cleveland offense. Everything that happened at practice today points to one undeniable conclusion. Shedeur Sanders is ready. He's ready to be QB1. He's ready to lead this team. He's ready to face the pressure and expectations that come with being the starting quarterback. He's ready to take on the Tennessee Titans and show the entire league what he's capable of when given the opportunity. The question isn't whether Shedeur can do it anymore. After today's practice performance, that question has been answered definitively. The question now is just how good can he be? And based on what we saw today, the ceiling is absolutely sky high. So here's what I want to know from all of you watching. What do you think about Shedeur Sanders' incredible practice performance? Can he carry this momentum into the game against the Tennessee Titans and deliver when it counts the most? Do you believe he's fully ready to embrace the pressure and responsibility of being QB1, or do you think there are still things he needs to prove before we anoint him as the guy? How do you feel about everything he showed today during practice? Was it everything you expected from him, or did he somehow manage to exceed even your highest expectations? This is a huge moment for Shedeur Sanders and for the Cleveland franchise, and I want to hear all your thoughts about it. Drop your thoughts down in the comments section right now. Let's get a real conversation going about Shedeur's readiness and what exactly he's going to bring to the field this week against Tennessee. Are you believers? Are you skeptics? Are you somewhere in between? Whatever your thoughts are, I want to hear them. And while you're down there in the comments, make sure you smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown of Shedeur's incredible practice session. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our coverage as we follow Shedeur Sanders and this Cleveland team throughout the season. This is going to be an exciting ride, and you're not going to want to miss a single moment of it. Let's go. Wads.